Bazelane, welcome back to my channel. Uh, um, I'm here still in Venderland. Yes, we are blessed to be alive. And those who have lost their loved ones, I said our condolences. And I say God is still God. Even in our pain, even in our misery, He's still God. Today, there's been, I believe that the Holy Spirit speaks in different ways. I've been speaking to my friends and about, is marriage outdated? Is marriage a curse? And I go in Facebook and I looked around. Even today I saw my former colleague talking about the same thing, is that is marriage still relevant, and has marriage evolved? And it's something that we've been speaking about with my friends, because we're at that age, because some they're remarrying, some are divorced, some are still want to marry, we're at an age where it's a mixture of many different things, and we're at an age when we talk about things openly and we talk about them without shame, without judgment, without anything. And my opinion and what I've said is that marriage will never be outdated. Marriage will never be outdated. That is my opinion. Marriage is beautiful. Is beautiful. It was designed by God. Even if you don't believe in God, whatever you believe in, but even culturally, traditional, or whatever that you may want to call it, marriage is beautiful. Marriage is beautiful. What is not beautiful is the decision that we make in the partners. And today I want to speak more to women when it comes to marriage. We need to forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we have made, and let us do better by ourselves. What do I mean by that? Most of us, when we come out of relationships and also when we come out of marriage, we blame the partners that we had. We blame him for doing 1, 2, 3 to us, but we never go back and look at ourselves and do stock taking at ourselves and the decision that we made. One thing that is so beautiful about life, that as women we take it for granted. Men have a right to propose to any woman that he wants. It is give a birthright to propose. That's why even if you meet a man who you feel is below your class and is talking to you, decline to him politely and with kindness. Don't bash him. It's not necessary for you to bash him. Just tell him, my brother, I'm not interested, whatever. But what is beautiful is that it's at the end of the day, the decision for the train to roll, for the ball to roll, the woman has to agree to it. So we have a responsibility, us as women, to make the right decision for ourselves. We have the responsibility to ourselves to assess this person who's coming to propose and whatever, and check if he's the right partner for you. You have to ask yourself, can I have a life with this person? Do I like this person? When you are looking at yourself. But because we go on with our lives, come out of those relationships, come out of this marriage, being bitter that men are dogs, being bitter, how can he do this to me, how can whatever. One thing that I've realized is that men are always true to themselves. Men are always true to themselves. But for some reason, us as women, we think we have the ability to change men. We get into marriages, when you saw the person in a relationship, he was 1, 2, 3 like this, and we continue with that marriages. We continue with that relationship. When a person has shown who they are, when this person has shown you that they are saving themselves, and what saving themselves, what it looks like and what it is. And if we don't do stock take on ourselves, on the decision that we make, on the words that we use, we'll jump from one relationship to another. without looking at the role we play in the failure of that relationship. And one thing I can tell you, if a person is not, you don't have the power or the magic to change someone. A man won't change because of you. He will change because he wants to change, and he feels that what he has with you, he cannot manage to lose. But for some reason, we think that we're gonna pray about it. You see, there's some things which are not a mistake. It's a decision a person has made. And you want to go down and be praying and waste your prayer, praying about a decision a person that has made. What are you praying about? God is a God of free will. A person went and decided this is what he's gonna do. A person decide this is the kind of life that he's gonna do. He's gonna live. My sisters, it's about time that we look at ourselves also. You cannot put your happiness on the hands of someone. You cannot put your happiness at the hands of someone. If we realize as women that we don't have power to change men, we don't have power to change somebody's habit, unless if they make a decision to change themselves, we'll always be miserable, we'll always be frustrated, we'll always be calling men dogs, we'll always calling men trash, we'll always calling men being rubbish and whatever names that you want to call them. But when are you gonna take responsibility of your life and your decisions? Yes, the other one might have done 80% of the damage in the marriage, and when people are dancing, it takes two to tango. And you who played 20%, that 20%, it's a big contributing factor to 100%. But for us to now we're a generation that is miserable. We are that generation where it's miserable when it comes to relationship and marriages. We have to look at ourselves and the decision that we make when it comes to partners. What we can endure, why we stay. And if you saw something before marriage, and you got into marriage and that thing is still there, why do you think it will? How do you now expect that thing to change? Many women have depression, they have stress, they have health-related issue, high blood pressure, sugar, diabetes, whatever you can think of, mainly because of stress. They have sleepless nights because of stress. But as women, we never look at the decision that we make. Marriage is beautiful. Marriage is holy. Marriage, you can thrive in marriage. Marriage it's a gift God gave us. And marriage is an institution where you are serving. But if you're going to a marriage wanting to be served, it's a disaster. If you're going to a marriage without wanting to be accountable for the decision that you make, you cannot see a lion when a lion is a lion and then you want to touch it like a cat. And when the lion bites you, you stand there and say, how can you bite me? I thought you were a cat. I prayed for you to be a cat. Oh, Bazalwan. I wish one day as women we can look at ourselves in our glory. We see ourselves the way God sees us. We see ourselves with the love that God sees us. One thing I've learned from men and I love about men never sacrifice their happiness. Men, I'm not saying men don't make mistakes in partners. No. I'm not saying that. Hence, you find that most people who lodge a divorce or who leave relationship, it's women. It's not usually men. Because women are happy in their relationship, whatever. They're living themselves and their totality in that relationship. That's why even when the marriage is so bad or whatever relationship is so bad, the man doesn't want to leave because he's still continuing to live his truth. But when you don't want to live your truth, you want the other person to live your truth, or else you are compromising yourself. If we do stock take and we start to love ourselves a little bit more, and we start to be accountable for our own lives and understand that we are responsible for our own happiness, we'll make better choices in partners. We won't act like we are Bob the Builder. We'll stop being project managers. When every time you're in a relationship, you want to change somebody, you are project manager. You want to manage his character. You want to manage his personality. You want to manage his behavior. You want to manage this and that. I'm too tired. I'm too tired. Barcelona, we are living in a very critical stage. We are living in a very, very critical stage where it's a matter of life and death. At this moment, you cannot be complaining about relationship issues. At this moment, where there's a kororo, where you are sitting there and you are miserable because of relationship. You are miserable because of what somebody is doing. You give so much credit for someone, and how do you put happiness in the hands of someone? How do we put our happiness in the hands of someone? Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense? You want to take the keys for Benz and you want to go and use them on the Jetta car or Uno. You want to take the keys of Jaguar and then you want to go and use them on a Uno car. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? The problem is that you are not clear what you want. You are not clear and you are not consistent, and you don't stand by your beliefs and your values. You go with the wind. But deep down, you know, I don't like this, I don't want this. But then you just follow. Women, I'm also talking to myself. Start being responsible for your relationship, for your life, and the people who are in your life. Women, we tolerate, we allow, with the hope that somebody's going to change. Let me tell you something. You are not a magician. You think you're going to pray like Christ and water turn into wine. You don't have that power. Like Stevie Harvey said, I'm going to quote him, that a man will never change unless he finds that woman he wants to change for. That one woman, he feels that, you know what, he takes a look at himself and saying, well, the man that I was, I don't want to be like that to this woman. I want to give her the best of who I am. And when you just want to get pieces and leftovers, and you are giving this person the best of yourself and the best of your vision, and then you turn around, you are miserable, and you call men dogs, trash, all these names, but you were not forced. Nobody put a gun to your head. I'm sorry, women, but we need to have this talk. We still need to have such talks. That I don't want to hear anymore the relationship problems. No, I don't want. Even myself, don't listen to me when I'm coming with relationship problems and whatever. It is tiring. It's like an old tape which keeps on going on and on and on. Whereas you know what you want and what is best for you, but you don't want to live your life in your totality. And then you go around, you call men all those things. Not all men are like that. Aren't you surprised when a man cannot do something true for you? He cannot be something for you. He goes around and be dead to another woman. Do you think magic happened? Men don't respect women who don't value themselves. That's just my opinion. They don't respect us when we undermine ourselves and we just accept the crumbs like offense. We have to accept anything. I'm sure he looks at you and says, oh, shame. It's still a beautiful day. It's still a beautiful, green, sunny day, you know? And I say, just be calm. I know a lot of us are getting a lot of calls of death of many people, notification of a lot of people. But this is the time for you to not to be normal. It's the time for you to be abnormal, for you to cope and to be normal. And if you're not coping, please, help is there. See someone, psychologist, counselor, whatever that is there, therapist, so that, because death, we cope with death in different ways, and the impact on death hits us different ways. And if you are not coping, don't be ashamed to ask for help. Bye.